Okay, so find a comfortable position. Now, some of you are here on Tuesday. If you feel it's more appropriate, and it can be appropriate, to lie down with that blanket shroud over your head, that's wise too. So just adjust yourselves well so that you're not struggling in your posture. That's the main thing, that there should be no struggle. But if there's a struggle, clearly, one recognizes it. And I know in the Dharma, in the teachings, the Buddhist teachings, they say just the recognition of knowing that there's struggle. Use your wisdom like mind and see perhaps what you're not accepting. And right now, just inhabit this moment. Inhabit your body, this body, and the sensations of the body. Feeling the touchstones of the buttocks on the floor if you're sitting in swastikasana, or perhaps the shins in contact with the floor in virasana. Feel the body just sitting, inhabiting this form in this very intentional way. Narayan the other day used the word, feel the isness of now. And see if you can be in life as it is, with all of its moving and shaking. Can you find that unshakability? Can you know behind the unshakability that all is manageable? Can you see your future where all is manageable? Be confident in that. May I be a boat, a raft, a bridge for all beings to cross the flood. May I be a resting place for the weary. May I be medicine for all who are sick. May I be a lamp in the darkness for those who are lost. And may I do so as long as earth and sky and galaxies exist, until all sentient beings are enlightened. I vow to be here to serve them all. And then if your eyes are closed, your head is down, lift your gaze. Allow your eyes to open and gently stretch out your legs. All right, everyone, good morning to all of you. We're going to start in Supta Virasana with organic support. When I say organic, I mean the bolster support. So what I'd like you to do is have your bolster or bolster blanket or two bolsters. You'll sit in Virasana. I think everyone is okay in this class with their knees. So you're going to establish this posture first. Elaine, if you get tired, you'll just, I can give you some suggestions. This isn't too rigorous. I think you'll be fine. So I want you to do Urdhva Baddha, change the cross, and then recline back to Supta Virasana. And then let me just show you while you're up and you don't have to turn your head when you're lying down. I want to do one thing when you come into Virasana. So we're going to lift the pelvis up so you can see that I'm lifting. Here's my hands right underneath the buttocks. And I'm lifting the pelvis up to thereby open the groins, the frontal groins, and stretch the quads even more. And then I'll bring the buttocks down. And mind you, the buttocks don't have to come to the floor. If they do, they do. If they don't, they don't. We will indeed stretch our arms overhead. So Lubna, if you want to get the dowel. Lubna, you and I can talk later about your plan. Okay, here we go. And Lan, of course. Take your arm position. If you want to do another arm position, you can do Gomukhasan, Paschima Namaskar. Always good to do at least one arm position daily, be it Urdhva Badanguliasan. Take enough height so that your knees don't come up. Those of you who need head support, in addition to the bolster, take a blanket roll for the back of, that's good, Tristan. The spine is vertical, good. All right. Press the feet, go back. Once you're in the pose, come back to the feet. That's really important. I will say the other day I showed how to use the ankle roll in Virasana and Supta Virasana. If that's helpful for many of you to get that evenness, especially for people who have had ankle issues, metatarsal issues. All right. And just settle down, settle back. Just initially have the arms out to the side so the sides of the throat can relax, the eyes can recede back, the forehead skin can spread. Again, it's always helpful for those of you who've had some chronic neck issues to interlace the hands at the OA joint, that base of the skull, spread the skin, and then lengthen away from the trapezius. That's just a really good action to do in lots of different poses. Remember in Viparita Dandasana, when I taught on the chair a few weeks ago, these are just really helpful tools. Now find out in staying, has the weight rolled to the big toe side. Turn the inner arches to the outer arches so you're on the very center line of the shin, and the thighs obviously don't become Baddha Konasana. The thighs, you find the median line of the thighs. And then when you're ready, press the feet, spread the toes, press the shins, and take the arms overhead. You can reach, have the dowels nearby, Lubna, or strap. Reach through the inner arms so the joints stay, as Jarvis likes to say, no elbows. Turn the skin from the inside out, reach through the fingertips, and then go to Baddha Hasta. It's always important to, stretch the arms overhead, provided there's no shoulder issue, of course. Good, Peggy. Again, those of you who are a little bit more restricted in the outer armpits, and in your upper spine, then it's wise to decentralize the hands to the wrists. In that way, the elbows come in line with the shoulders and not higher. You'll see that as you stay for a bit of time, you might be able to hold the mid forearm. Some of you I know are holding your upper arm. That's fine as long as the elbows are in line with the shoulders and the skin is turning. Okay, now extend. So instead of just going back to Baddha Hasta, changing across, again, reach through the arms, take Urdhva Hastasana if it's appropriate for you, which I think for everyone here who doesn't have a shoulder issue, it is, and then Baddha Hasta changing across. So that's really the very best way to do it. Notice how I always say this, but when you explore the breath in each geometry, how the inhalation is quite apparent in Supta Virasana, as compared certainly to Supta Baddha Konasana, where the exhalation is very apparent. And I say this only because it can guide you. What happens to the breath can guide you a lot in what you're doing in the asana practice, or what you need to do in the asana practice. So if you're feeling anxious and you need to make that exhalation longer, then Supta Baddha Konasana might be better. Just a different point of view, right? To look at your asana practice, your home practice, those of you who have a home practice, in the breathing that comes along, that's inherent in every shape, every asana. Now go back to decentralized arms and just enjoy your breath as it is. Not changing the breath, not forcing an inhalation. The inhalation will come on its own. Okay, well done. We'll revisit this soon, but before that, we're going to do something else. So now place the hands in the arches of the feet. Press the feet, press the shins, lift your chest. Let the head be last to come up, and now give a good stretch to the legs in Dandasana. We've been working on unfolding the legs. for a few weeks now, unfold your legs. All right, now just go back to lying on your back. And we're doing what I call quasi-jetter with the feet on the floor. Just move side to side, the knees. The knees don't have to touch the floor. As you go to the right, you'll feel that lovely groin thigh stretch of the left side, and of course to the left on the right. Side to side. Make sure the feet are apart, as it's beneficial for the low back. Okay, and now we're going to do Paryankasan, legs in Virasana, unless your knees can't tolerate another knee flexion, then of course do it straight leg as I've taught, and I can go over that. And again, many of you need that blanket that receives, that second brick that receives the head. You can put it on top of the high brick and do it in this manner. So again, back to Virasana, do a different arm position. And then after we do Paryankasan, you can just flip the blocks to the lowest side and come back to Supta Virasana, or you can shuffle in the bolster that you used. So this Supta Virasana often starts with Paryankasan. So we're doing it in a very classical manner. Remember, guys, that if your knees bother you now and you don't want to do Virasana a second time, you can put the blanket like this and do a straight leg. Support. I'm taking height because the bricks on the high side are challenging to do a straight leg. So you come back and then extend one leg, then the other. That's perfectly good, Gail. Yeah, perfectly fine to do a straight leg Paryankasan. Remember again to press the feet and lift the pelvis up in Paryankasan. So like almost like a good Tristan, almost like a pumping action for the groins. Okay. And settle in again. Pay attention to the feet because the knees will follow what the feet are doing. So inner ankles to outer ankles, be on the baby toe side, that's it, Peggy. Center the thighs. And then once again, you can extend the arms overhead. So you can feel these shapes are quite narrow. It's, very, not at all like Supta Padangusthasana 2. Very, very different. All back bend shapes are quite narrow, be it Ustrasana, be it Dandasana. So we're doing a potpourri of poses, as I talked about the other day. We'll be doing some poses that are more back bending in nature, and then obviously some leg stretches. And we're doing a lot of these shapes that often start back bend sequence for the groins in our leg stretches. Re-extend the arms, change the cross. Good. And then when you're ready, take around the second round of Supta Virasana, having now done Paryankasan. So those of you in straight leg Paryankasan, you can stay where you are, unless you want to go back to the Virasana shape. Okay, so now Supta Virasana, perhaps you come a little bit lower, you can shuffle in the blanket or the bolster, head support if you need it. Oftentimes Paryankasan improves Supta Virasana. You'll feel that upper spine has been kicked in. You'll become more aware of the median line of your body, the spine having done the bricks, Paryankasan. Okay, these look good. Again, don't let the legs become Baddha Konasana. You can also put the bolster, if you're using the blocks, the bolster on the roots of the thighs. Good balance. Yeah, that's good, Mary Beth. The bolster on the roots of the thighs really helps you stay with it. You feel like this groundedness that the bolster provides, sort of a heaviness in the thighs and a lightness in the chest. So you feel very earthy. Now, when you're ready with new groins, place the hands in the arches of the feet, lead with your chest. Up you come. Unfold the legs in Dandasana with the feet hip width apart, as we explored last week. When the feet are hip width apart in Dandasana, it's really easier to open the back of the knee. Okay, because we're going back to knee flexion in a second. So really open the backs of the knees with the feet hip width apart. So from the side, especially right here, right above the knee is pressing down, suck the outer shins in, reach through the core of the heel as you make the chest absolutely perpendicular to the floor. Okay, now we're going to come up to standing. If you need a wall or a chair to do Utthita Baikasana. So for some of you, because it's not about whether or not you can balance in the middle of the room to do this pose, I just wanted, so I'll just simply go to the wall, doesn't matter which side, and I'll show it in profile. Utthita Baikasana, aiming to get the heel, the inner heel right at the outer buttock. You were there. You were there a minute ago, right? With both legs. Now it's one leg. Remember to abduct at the corner of the standing leg and lift both sides of the pubic bone up without, don't let the chest come forward, which is often the common case in this pose. Don't let the chest come forward. See that your bent knee is in line with the standing leg. That's good, Lana. Now, those of you who can hold the foot good with both hands so that you get what I call the twofer. You're getting for the shoulder blades, that stabilization of the shoulder blades, as well as the groin and quad, and change sides. Well done. Utthita Baikasana, other side. Baikasana, long E. Baikasana versus Bak. It's Bhekasana. Observe the difference in two sides. Good, Julia. So that when I say Utthita Baikasana, it's standing, Utthita, because in a second, we're going to do it prone on your belly. So this shape has two forms. There's different iterations. This is standing. We're going to do prone. Well done. Okay, now come on the floor. Now, before we go to the more classical way, Ekapada Baikasana, prone, I want you to do cobra. So, Lana, I have to, I was thinking of you the other day yesterday when I was making the sequence. I want to see you do a push-up. So one of the things that I aspire to do is a push-up. I can't do a push-up, okay? So I'll have Lana show what a push-up looks like because I'd like to see it. And then I want to show you a pathway that I've been working with Peter Donahoe on hydro with Cobra. So hold on, Lana. So how many of you aspire to do a push-up? Yeah, Gail, okay. Oh, so some of you could do, okay, wonderful, Lana. All right, so Lana, can you unmute yourself and tell us how, I'd be curious, my friend, I want to know how you, I mean, I know you're young, but can you give us and maybe you could have done these all your life, which might be the case, but can you give us a little background of how you learned, what came before, or some history on this? Go ahead.
I mean, when I was younger, I could do it, and then I stopped training for a while, and I wasn't able to do it, and then I started training up for it again, which is what you have taught us, which is do the standing versions on a wall, and then it slowly decreased the decline.
Yeah.
And so wall, stairs, my treadmill, for example.
Okay, good.
And then do them on the knees, like this.
Yeah.
And then eventually you will go back up here.
Well done. So it's different, you see, than the Chaturanga Dandasana because
right. I mean, there is a version of push-ups where you are like Chaturanga, where your arms are tucked into your sides. but the standard push-up is your
Yeah,
arms,
show us that
your
one.
elbows naturally go to the side.
Yeah, let's see that. Okay, so there's a push-up, not,
It's here rather than there in chaturanga.
yes. Now show us the one on the knees, because I suspect some will be able
This-
to do.
This is very helpful.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, and lift the ab, good. Yeah, that's good. So that you can see her knees are down, her feet are up, okay? Have you ever seen it with the feet down and the knees down?
Like this.
Yeah. That's how Peter Donahoe teaches it.
I think it's whatever your body is more comfortable. I don't think it-
All right, I just wanted to show that. Okay, now just show Cobra, because this is what Peter, I'm just following my own experience now with Peter Donahoe's. And Lana's right, we make no mistake, when we do Chaturanga Dandasana, you know, I've taken you through that whole iteration of just, you know, working with gravity. Okay, so now you press the feet in the Virasana shape, which we've all been, yes, and that's really good. And lift up, the trapezius moves away from the cervical spine, gaze is ahead. Notice how she's not leading with the chin. So I'm gonna ask that if you can't do the two iterations, the classical putter that Lana showed and the knee version, to do what we did on Tuesday, 10 cobras and a hold of 10. Okay, thanks, Lana. All right, so let's see. Obviously, no one is going to do this with a shoulder issue, but as I see it, no one has a shoulder issue here. Okay, so Lana, I've removed you, so don't worry. And back to the galley. All right, here we go. So Cobra or some iteration of either Chaturanga that you've done, be it like that I've taught you online, be it at the wall like I'm doing, or if you have a staircase nearby, perhaps that. Okay, let's see. Good, Mary Beth. Good. So many of you on the knees, Elaine, good. Julia, good. So it looks like everyone's doing on the knees, which is Gail. Okay. Tristan, excellent. All right. These look good, Lubna, good. A lot of you, so it's interesting. Almost everyone has the feet up. Good, Val. So the elbows can go out in that variation. Those of you who are doing the Chaturanga Dandasana iteration at the wall, that's fine too. And then those of you who are doing Cobra, do 10 and then hold for a count of 10. Good. So I think this is quite, I won't say important, but if you aspire, if it's something that you aspire to, note the a beneficial and healthful way to avoid injuries, because you know that it is Chaturanga Dandasana in our Iyengar system is one of the poses. I remember years ago having a long chat with Peter Stone about this, that can cause injury to the shoulder faster than anything else. Mary Beth, you remember that. Okay, now, Ekapada Bekasana. So what you did, Utita style, you're going to put your left forearm in front of you, just in front of the collarbones parallel, and then bend the leg, find out in bending the leg, don't let the leg splay out. You did that in the Paryankasanas and the Virasanas. Now, place the right thumb, actually the whole palm, I should say, on your right foot. Quickly turn the wrist, lift the elbow up to the ceiling and aim that heel to the outer buttock. Lift the chest, use the left forearm in the same way that you saw Lana do Cobra. Don't lead with the chest, just lift up because it's a chest opener. See if you can levelize both sides of the chest so they're even, and change sides. Well done, change sides. Ekapada Bekasana. Bend the left leg, move the buttock flesh to the back of the knee with your left hand. Yes, so you want to bend the leg far in, right? And then turn the hand, lifting the elbow up and aim what? Aim the inner heel. That's really good, Val. Good. Yes. And now use your right forearm. If you're not getting much lift, putting your forearm on a blanket or even bolster helps a lot. Okay, one more time, and then we're done. Those of you who want to get the not elbow support, forearm support, then do so. So I'll give you a second time if you want. You get a little more lift in the chest, that's it. And go. So now we're bending the right leg, In bending the leg, find out, don't let the leg splay out, aim well in the same manner you did it Utita style. If you can't get the turning of the hand, don't worry about it. Some of you might find that tucking the toes under of the left foot is helpful for stability. Okay, and change sides. Yeah, try not to cramp the foot. That's why I said that, Lana, if anyone's foot cramps, tucking the toes under might help, but of course we've learned how to open the feet in that plantar flexion in Virasana and change sides. Okay. All right, now I'd like everyone to do a quick calf stretch. Stretch out your legs, Dandasana. Suck the outer shins in because you need this when you do this, especially the calf stretch. So the outer shins want to splay out, suck them in as you extend through the inner heel. Again, unfold the backs of the legs. All right, so I'd like everyone, because most of you have the yoga chair, to take the chair today for the calf stretch. Because it seems like we haven't done it in a long time. For some of you have, of course, as you get older, there's less adipose tissue on the soles of the feet. So wearing a sneaker will help certainly. Putting a little bit of a mat piece in the inverted chair will help. Now, it is true, you can do this without a strap, but it's much easier if you hook the strap around this rung. I'm not doing it with the strap. And I'm lifting both sides of my pubic bone up. Notice how I'm not letting the chest come forward. If the chest comes forward, you're bypassing the groins. All right, so since we've opened the groins, we're working on the calves now. That's good. Use the chair instead of the blocks today. It's a little more intense. Make sure you mindfully come in and out, particularly out, because the chair can flip over. If you need more, yeah. If it's hard on anyone's feet, now Lana, lift strongly. Yes, get the, buttock flesh down, pubic bone up. Chest should be vertical. If the chest is even slightly forward, get those heels right in that chair seat. That's why the mat piece or a sneaker helps. And of course, if you don't have a yoga chair, you can do against the stairs. You can do it on blocks, as you all know. This is good. Gail, good. Lift the chest, lift the chest, lift the chest. Now, when you're ready, bend forward. That's it, Lana. Walk down the sides of the chair. Keep the buttocks in line with the heels. Walk, walk, walk. That's it. Get to the joint or the floor. That's it. Some of you will find this more palatable than the upright. Elaine, you can just stay upright if you feel dizzy, or do the, that's fine. Elaine, just know that at any point in time, you can go to the Supta cycle because we're only doing one today. All right, now mindfully come up and just stay in that very first position, pulling up the sides of the pubic bone. Lift, lift, lift. Good. All right, now come and do Adho Mukha Svanasana at the top of the mat. Elaine, you can just do Prasarita Padottanasana. We're doing Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. All right. Hopefully your heels will come down. So take it from Tadasana, raise the arms up to Urdhva Hastasana, exhale, bend forward, Uttanasana, jump or step back. Observe which leg you step back with. Right. Okay. Now come up on the balls of the feet to get the apex of the pose. Suck the outer shins in. And now begin to synchronize, taking the weight back into the legs. Get the heels down. Heels down. Lifting the toes might be helpful. As you feel the outer circumference of your heel in contact with the floor. And then again, work with the instructions that we worked with last week in the arm balances. And on Tuesday, pressing the entire circumference of the hands down, go up through the inner arms. Feel how that moves the spine in. And now move the chest toward the leg side. Move the chest toward the leg side. Okay, now take your feet, walk your feet toward your hands. Do Uttanasana with the legs against the wall. You can have a bolster if you want, just put it in front of you. So you're forward of the wall, you know this. Walk back and glue the legs to the wall. So we're fully unfolding the legs, using the wall to feel the backs of the knees open. Suck the outer shins in. They want to roll out. Don't let them. Elaine, we're going to start the Supta one the second. So just get a bolster. All right. Have the feet hip width apart. And then ask yourself, were the backs of my knees as open in dog pose as they feel now using the wall Uttanasana? Now walk out and come back to Adho Mukha Svanasana, but walk out, so you can have, you could have stayed at the wall, walk back out, or come back up, take Adho Mukha Svanasana, and actually if you're taking it from Adho Mukha Svanasana, if you step back with the other leg. Some of you would jump back. Why don't you take Adho Mukha Svanasana from a prone position to continue the journey on upper body? Okay, so take it again. That's it, Alana. All right, up you go. Good, Luna. That's it. Okay. Just because it's good to vary how you come in and out of poses. You don't have to do it the same way. Good, Peggy, from plank. Well done. All right. Now get those, come up again on the balls of the feet, suck the outer shins in, and now take the weight back. Take the weight back. Arms straight, arms straight, arms straight. Arms have to be straight. Legs are straight. See that the outer edges of the feet are aligned with the outer edges of the mat. And again, move the chest toward the thighs. Have the memory of the wall. You just felt it. Imagine it were there now, right above the knee, right below the knee, outer shins in. Arch is lifting, arch is lifting. Feel like the arch, like a tube of energy through your lower and upper legs, absorbing the energy of the earth. Okay, and down you come, going on our backs. Have a bolster today. I think we haven't done this iteration. My gosh, I think we do the Supta cycle so much, but we haven't done this iteration of Supta 1 in quite some time. So today I think I'm going to do it with a bolster. All right, so we'll do the second iteration soon. So just now you'll just need a strap. And again, kind of plant the seeds for a good Supta 1. Always like to do this from a bent leg position. Then extend one leg, then the other, so you get the traction in the lower spine. So the Supta 1 doesn't start by just throwing up the leg. It really has an organization to it, from Supine Tadasana to Ekapada, and then the belt comes on. So make it a process in that way. You're starting with bent legs. Ideally, if you have a wall, is super great. If not, don't worry about it. Good, good, good. Yes, it's really good, especially for the low back. Yes, and then Ekapada. In Ekapada, flex the foot, dorsiflexion, good. Open up that heel hinge. Open it up, spread the toes, spread the sole. So you're getting a lot of, points of reference in. Begin to merge the chest and the thigh. Feel how the abdomen draws back. So it's an Akunchanasana action. This is abdominal work. Ekapada Pavanuttasana is basically classified as an abdominal pose. It would be under Akunchanasana, I think, in the not preliminary course, the second one, intermediate course. Okay, put the belt on. Now, just let's think about, we've explored every belt position. If you found that it was helpful, and it's often helpful for as we age, for the hips, to put it at the heel, the back of the heel, as we did last week, then opt for that. Otherwise, you could put the arch of the foot, no problem. Open up the back of the leg, start at 90, and then again, continue that process of taking the leg toward you. No need to go to the final pose. We might get there later, but right now focus on the metrics of the 2 legs straight, the side ribs even. And the knee, particularly the right knee, but also obviously the left, unfolding. Move the leg. Supta Panagustasana. One, arms are straight, legs are straight, spine is moving in, away from the floor. Chest feels lifted, but not held, particularly at the lower throat. But be mindful of not tightening the glottis, the base of the throat. Stay with it. We're roughly doing about 1.5 to 2 minutes. Again, imagine the traction belt around the left arch, outer right hip. Those of you with the belt on the hip, you might get more of a clarity at that hip-thigh juncture. You might feel the thigh bone drawing back into the hip socket and the outer right hip moving into the midline. So the hips are compact. Okay, now bring the leg back to 90, bend it, extend it to the wall, and change sides, starting again from supine Tadasana, Ekapada, don't bypass that, flex the foot, spread the toes, activate the arch, especially if you have flat feet, merge the chest and the upper thigh. You'll feel your abdomen drawing back. That happens naturally. And then take the belt in the same spot where you had it on the other leg. Back to 90, and then again, about 1.5 minutes, go. Unfold the backs of both knees. Arms are straight, shoulder blades are in, shoulders are down. Throat and eyes, tongue relaxed. Work the parts that need to work, but not the parts that don't need to be involved. Keep that left leg running in line with that left shoulder. There's a tendency for some people to cross it over. Remind yourself like the train stays on the track. Good. 30 seconds more. Stay with it. Again, if this is a more easeful side, observe that. Less easeful, observe that too. Good balance. Side ribs even, Steven. Left hip to the right. Okay. And now when you're ready, bend it, extend it to the wall. All right, now we're doing the same process, only this time, instead of using a block today, we're going to put a bolster underneath the pelvis so you can see it's like a back bend. It's, you know, it's similar to like if we raised it to the seat of a chair, we'd be in Viparita Dandasana. So you come back, we start with, obviously better to just start with bent legs, recline back. The same thing, only now this left side enjoys more of a stretch, that same feeling that you had in the Paryakasanas and the Supta Virasanas and the Ekapada Bekasanas. And then belt in the same place, again, Ekapada and go, all right? So we're doing this for the opposite groin. Take the right leg up with the bolster support horizontally across the pelvis, so the pelvis is raised up, and you're going to come into Supta. It's the same pose, only a different iteration. It's not, you could do it, we normally have done it, but I think when we did it last, for sure, we did it with the, oh, your back line, good, the block. But now we're doing it, yeah, open the back of the knee, remember, yeah, that's it, Lubna. You'll see, obviously, because of the height of the bolster, the left thigh wants to fly up. And it's, of course, the left thigh is going to be away from the floor, but roll the thigh in and press it down. And I won't touch the floor, it can't. But that same action is present in this iteration as it was. These look good. Now, those of you who have a rate, and there are people who practice Viparita here in this room, Viparita Dandasana regularly on the chair, supported Viparita Dandasana, observe how this is like a lower iteration of that, a lower iteration. Okay, good. That's it, Lubna. Don't let the groins crisscross. The right groin belongs to the right groin, left to the left. They don't commingle. Good. So again, that feeling, that sensation in your left leg should be very similar to what you did up till now. And it'll be very helpful when we come to do Utthita Hasta Bekasana, because the only way that aerial leg is going to lift in that standing pose is if not only the hamstring of the aerial leg is open, but the groin of the down leg has to be open. Okay, and change sides. Again, bend the right leg. Bend both, which is always helpful. And then extend one, then the other, and then repeat left side. Left knee in, flex the foot in the same way. Get that Kunchanasana, that abdominal feeling as you draw the thigh into the chest, and then leg up. So now you're in, imagine you're in Ekapada Viparita Dandasana. You're on the chair, your pelvis is on the seat of the chair, and you take one leg up. Move the leg, move the leg, move the leg. Again, for those of you who have the belt in that, at the very, very back of the heel, enjoy the clarity in the hip socket that you glean from that. The skin from the outer knee to the outer hip, and the outer hip sucking in. Good. This is a lovely iteration to do, not to forget about, and you'll see its relevance in the next pose, Parsvottanasana. Good. All right, now take the leg down, bend it, put it on the floor, bend both knees at this point to exit. Come into Dvipada, still the pelvis on the bolster. That should be quite nice. It's nice to do, as I said earlier, you know, if you're doing a lot of asymmetrical poses, it's really wise on your back to intersperse symmetrical poses. Okay, and then roll to your side. So we'll do something a little bit new. I'm going to have you do this today with a bolster instead of blocks. So watch. We're going to come into Urdhva Hastasana. Notice how I don't take the thighs forward. Exhale. I'm going to bring my hand, you can bring it to a bolster down to the floor. I'm going to step back, okay? So watch, there's a few iterations we could try here. The first, I call this the rocker. Like we stretch the calf, you're going to lift the ball of the foot, the right foot up, and then lift the back heel up and kind of rock back and forth. You're also lifting the abdomen away from the floor, right? So when you get this rocker-like action, the abdomen will feel like you're almost like have a helium balloon underneath you. You need to put your hands on something, take the bolster to the top of the foot. That's why I wanted to do it like this, because some of you who can't bring the hands to the floor can use the bolster. It's hard, the block won't work. All right, so can we see this rocker-like event? So just think of how we got here. We've opened and unfolded the backs of the legs. We've done our calf stretch. We've done a lot of groin stretches. And now this kind of makes sense. All right, Parsvottanasana. Take Tadasana, Urdhva Hastasana. Bend forward, step back with your left heel. Wait there. So the classic Parsvottanasana shape, we came into it from Tadasana versus Parsvahasta Padasana. Okay, now hands on the floor beside the right foot or on the bolster, which you can put on your right foot. It's a soft surface. That's it, Peggy. And then rock back and forth. So you're lifting the ball of the right foot up, back heel up, and then the foot comes down. That's it. And go back and forth. Feel how there's an abdominal action, but remember to keep the legs straight. Legs are straight. Rock back and forth. Back and forth. Heel up. Ball the foot down, legs are straight. I'm glad to see many of you have nice wide stances today. And I suspect it's fundamentally happened because of perhaps that second iteration. Step forward with the back left leg and repeat to the opposite side. So this isn't just, when I introduce these kind of different iterations, it's just a way of taking the classic pose, shining the light on some of the things that you could do with it. And just, it makes it fun and interesting. All right, change sides when you're ready. Just go back and forth, lifting the heel up, which is really good for the foot. Those heel raises. Stamping the ball of the foot down. That's it, laying back and forth. That's it. Legs are straight. Hips are compact. That hasn't changed. Side ribs even. So all the metrics of Supta 1 still imply now. You haven't lost one metric. Good. All right. Do about the same number. Most of you have done about 10 kick forward with the back right leg. Repeat Utthita Baikasan, just facing the wall. It's interesting, when you do it facing, I think that there's something that happens differently with the proprioception. So now just facing the wall, plus we're going to be doing the next pose facing the wall, so it'll be a nice transition. All right, you're doing Utthita Baikasan facing the wall. Something's different about it. Maybe it's like, I feel like the flatness of my thighs, that iron, that ironed skin to bone looks like the wall. It's similar to the wall. There's something about it. Okay, and then of course change sides. See that the knee of the bent leg is yet again. Those of you who can remove your hands from the wall and hold the foot with both hands, then by all means do. Okay, that's it, Julia. Get that shoulder blade action, which you'll need in a moment from now. All right, now, Tristan, I'm going to spotlight you if you don't mind. You're going to face the wall, have a belt, and we're going to do Utthita Hasta Padangusthasana with foot on wall, i.e. with support. We will try to do it freestanding, but I want you, so you can probably predict that we were going to do this, because this pose, in order to do freestanding, you need to open that frontal groin. All right, so let's see, Tristan, if we can see from this. So is there any way you can show from the side, Tristan, at the wall, or no? No.
Not really, unfortunately.
Yeah.
I can have a pretend wall if you want.
Okay, yeah, you can pretend it. All right. So everyone will use a wall support because, even here's the thing, guys, even if you can do it freestanding, there's a lot to be gleaned by not doing it freestanding, because the foot has something to pressure into. You can stay longer and feel the symmetry in the side ribs. That's good, Tristan, because people in the class will use the chair. Okay, that's it. All right, so stand a little closer, I think, to the chair. Maybe not. I think, yeah, it's hard for me to see on the camera. All right, you take it. Spread the feet, lift the arches, raise the side ribs, put the belt on, and extend. Yes, yeah. So she is actually higher than the backrest of the chair. Fine. So just drop it to the backrest, because I'm fine with that. Yeah. So you can see both legs are straight, side ribs are even, arms are not bent. Okay, turn the arms in. So this is Supta 1. That's why we spend so much time there. I want you to get that. Also, look down at the left leg and see that the toes are not turned in, that the toes are pointing in, and the top of the standing thigh is back. So think of all the shapes we've been in that will obviously have helped you come into this pose. Thanks, Tristan. So many of you who don't have a wall can use the chair, the backrest, and if it's just hard on your shin, put a blanket on top. Okay, thanks, Tristan. Let me unspotlight you. All right, now we'll go back to the galley and let's do Utthita Hasta Padangusthasana with support. Okay. Those of you want to put it on the ledge, Gail, that's fine. I think you could build up the ledge support though, Gail. All right, here we go. Stand. Well, first of all, don't bypass Samastiti. All right, stand in mountain pose. Spread the toes. Lift the arches. Now just quickly raise the arms up without taking the thighs forward. Take the arms down. And just like you did in Eka Pada Pavimuttasana, and Tristan demonstrated this, bend your right leg, take a pause, take the root of the left thigh back, put the belt on in the arch of the foot, or if you can get it at the back crown of the heel, wonderful. And quickly is good. Gail, step in a smidge and find out once the leg has come to the wall. So Val, that's good. You know, if you're beyond 90, wonderful. Hopefully, much of what we did today will make that area leg go beyond 90. Good, Peggy. Lubna, don't let the chest go back. So that chest has to be absolutely upright. You might have to, take a little more slack on the belt, Lubna, so that the shoulder blades are not behind. Don't leave the shoulder blades behind. No shoulder blades left behind. These look great. These look great. Val, beautiful. Great, 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 great. Gail, I think you could raise the height. It looks a little low for you. All right, change size. These look beautiful. As they say in Devil Wears Prada, my work is done. All right, other side. This is beautiful. These look really, really good. Spread, don't bypass Tadasana. Meaning that, you know, each stage has its fruits. Tadasana is the most important pose, Shavasana really. Spread the toes, lift the left leg, pause. In that quick pause, take the root of the right thigh back and then quickly extend through the core of the heel. Turn the arms from the inside out. If you have too much slack on the belt, the chest will go behind. So choke down on the belt, turn the arms from the inside out without tensing the throat. Beautiful. Mary Beth, really good. Really good. Yukiko, you're really good. Both legs are straight and everyone's heel, your right heel is not behind the buttock, which is really unusual. Very, very, very good. All right, now come out. Now we'll do something a little more unusual. So it's interesting, we did this intense leg stretch and yet we've gotten there through back bend. So, you think, you know, what we did. Bekkasan, Supta Virasana, Paryankasan. All right, so this is what we're going to do. Let me show in profile. I will preface this by saying for some people this is rather challenging. I'll show you from the side view and frontal view. I find it very, very good to do. Taller people might need a little bit of height, say a blanket, but I want to see, Tristan, I don't think I've ever showed you this, but there may be some people that this doesn't work for, and that's fine. Then do Virabhadrasana 1 freestanding. All right, so watch. I'm taking my right leg in, and again, like I said, a taller person might have to put more cushioning. I adjust the front foot, toes pointing head, inner knee turning to the outer knee, drawing the skin back. You can see the racing stripes here. Hips are compact. Back leg is tricky. You have to turn that back leg, using my left hand to turn the thigh, but in order to get that groin, the left groin around. And then arms out, I have to charge that back leg. It's hard to keep the back leg straight in this chair, Virabhadrasana 1, and then lift the arms up. All right, do I need to show frontally? I don't think so. If anyone does not want to do it in the chair, be my guest. But I will say there's something, you know, it's hard to make Virabhadrasana 1 relaxing. This is basically much more relaxed. I was on the ball of the back foot. Val, you can use the wall. One thing I will say, if you could situate so that the back heel is up at the wall, that will really help. The leg wants to bend. You have to be vigilant. Mine probably was bent. Okay, lift that inner knee up. All right, let's see it. You can show me from the side or frontally. Good, Elaine, knee is over the ankle, tuck the toes under. And again, as an aside, good, Jill, you got the foot at the wall. As an aside, especially if you have foot issues, it could be easier in a sneaker. These are good. Now take the arms out. Remember the abdomen, don't let the abdomen puff forward. The chest is vertical. That's the metrics of this pose. Good, Yukiko, arms out. Charge the chest without charging the eyes and throat. reach up, reach up. It's a much more, I find it a more palatable way to do Virabhadrasana 1. And one can stay for about a minute. Lumina, just a little, I'll be picky, just a little bit in inner upper knee of the back leg. I mean, for everyone, that's the leg wants to bend. We don't let it. Okay, being on the ball of the foot will help. Pushing the heel into the baseboard will help. Take the arms down and of course change sides. If you want, you can do this in between, which is nice. Just get a quick, always a good opportunity to get in a quick chair Bharadvajasana. To the right, to the left, or you can do the left when you change sides. Virabhadrasana 1 to the left. Okay, here we go. If you've never done it, I hope you find this. Use your right hand to spin the right thigh. That really helps. Turn it. Let the right groin come forth. Good, Yokiko. Back heel is at the wall. Really helps some of you. Good, Elaine. All right, now wait there. Establish that geometry. Chest perpendicular. Then reach through the fingertips. Spread your wings. Turn the palms up and reach up. Those of you who can even look up. Sense that you're looking up from the clavicles, from the top of the chest. Well done. Okay, now take Chair Bharadvajasana to the left, or repeat right Chair Bharadvajasana, both right and left, for those of you who did right, left on the other side. Okay, Chair Bharadvajasana, which is always a wonderful pose to do in any sequence. All right, now we're coming out and we have our setup already, just sneakily put in Urdhva Mukha Svanasana, okay? So again, you can come up on the balls of the feet, which you work, right? And don't let the knees drop, get the chest. Tristan, will this be okay for you to do on the chair? We need the bench. All right. Urdhva Mukha, give me at least 3. Remember what I taught in arm balances about drawing up through the inner arms. Make your chest just like it was in Virabhadrasana 1. Beautiful. These look really nice. So you see, again, I tried to devise a very utilitarian sequence where you're doing lots of poses in different categories, but that makes sense in a sequence. When I say make sense, in that it has the capacity to improve. All right. So would anyone like to demonstrate Uttita Hasta Padangusthasana 1, the pose that Tris, keep going on your Urdhva Mukha, but you can think about how we're now ready to do the freestanding Uttita Hasta Padangusthasana 1. If you feel like balance is not coming, then of course go back to the support. Would anyone like to demonstrate? All right, let's do this. Before you even do that, come onto your back. I think this will make it a little bit better. Hold the sides of the foot or the big toe and take Supta Padangusthasana 1. Full pose. But make it a process. Don't lift the chest and head yet. Hold the sides of the foot, those who can, or use the belt, and take Supta Padangusthasana 1. Appreciate all that you've done for the groins in Warrior 1, etc. Good. This will help you take that final Uttita Hasta Padangusthasana 1. Good, good, good. And then at some point you lift the chest, you lift the head, and you take the leg with you. The final pose, which is very difficult, the final stage in Uttita Hasta, which we're going to do in a second, is when you have to take the leg toward your chest. You have to use your arms. So take the leg with you. As you lift the chest, lift the head. Take the leg with you, don't leave it behind. Okay, and then when you're ready, change sides. If anyone's tired, they can remain in this pose and do the iteration with the bolster underneath their pelvis again. If you're not tired, then we're all going to come up and do what Tristan showed with now not support. Although of course you can do it with support, but let's attempt to do it. You can show me in profile if you'd like. And we're going to take the right leg up. I will say though, in this particular pose, I don't want to insist that you take the right leg up, but in this pose, since you've made this comparative study between the sides in each pose that we've done, if you find it's easier to take the left leg up and stand on the right leg, then by all means do. Because there's something about this pose, as in other poses like this, that the intelligent side can inform the less easeful side. Okay, so with that said, here we go. Spread the feet. Now hold the foot, those of you, or the big toe, or the sides of the foot. It's fine to hold the sides of the foot. And then extend. Good, Val. Root of the standing thigh, whatever that is, back. Good, Julia. Stay with it. Stay. Easeful eyes. That just let the pose evolve, but not so much from the doing aspect of the limbs. And change sides. Well done. Okay, when you're ready, change sides. That means your other leg. Okay, some of you are standing with different legs. So now standing on the opposite leg, hold the big toe. Some of you can use a strap, that's perfectly appropriate, or the wall. Okay, and now extend the leg, press the root of the standing thigh back. Now, especially for those of you who are holding the sides of the foot, lift the leg up to you and then bow down to it. So you're taking the leg with you. And you're bringing the shin toward your chest. Well done. Okay, and now come down. Now for symmetry, Elaine, you can do a prasarita. Well, actually, do Baddha Konasana now, just seated. And everyone else dog pose. Just for symmetry. Elaine, do it. I meant Upavishta Konasana. Sorry, I want the legs straight. Sorry. Upavishta. It's symmetrical and it's, yeah. So just following along with us, Elaine, you don't have to do Adho Mukha Svanasana. Okay, good. All right, so I think today I was going to do a little more work. Let me just tell you, I'm going to Hanumanasana. I think we can do it. I don't think we need to do Virabhadrasana 3, although certainly we could. Take Ekapada Adho Mukha Svanasana, those of you in dog pose, one-legged dog pose when you're ready. One-legged dog pose. I don't think we need that much more preparation for Hanumanasana, although we certainly could do Virabhadrasana 3. It's a classical sequence in that respect, or even Urdhva Prasarita Ekapadasana. So those would be the two that, if we were going longer, one could do. If you're getting tired, do Upavishta Konasana, sitting down. Good, Tristan. So Val, we're doing Ekapada Adho Mukha Svanasana, okay? All right, well done. All right, now, this is what, have a bolster nearby, a bolster and a blanket. Seems like we haven't done this in some time. I'm just gonna try this with 2 blocks for now. So I'm going to go into what I call a low Virabhadrasana 1, low. So I'll just decide, you'll take actually you can take whatever leg forward you want. All right, so let me just show you from the front. Okay, now more importantly, let me just show you from the back. So all these same instructions that I give you in that Virabhadrasana. So you see, we were on the chair, right? My seat was on this chair before. All right, so now I want the blocks to be closer to the hips because they go forward, it makes the chest come forward. So I'm imitating, if you will, that Virabhadrasana 1 on the chair. And then you can see I'm inching back. I'm taking it slow. Again, easier if you have foot issues to do with a sneaker. Try not to cramp the foot. And I'm getting this low position. Now, because this can be tricky on the sacrum, let me show you now from literally behind. You have to make sure that you're pinning those outer hips in. So again, the right hip moves to the left. You find those indents. That's what we call the indents. The hips are compact. The top of the sacrum is balanced side to side. All right, shall we? All right, so we'll call it a low Virabhadrasana 1. The blocks help stay in the pose a bit, have the blocks closer to the hips, Val, that yes, because that will keep your trunk more perpendicular. So I want to mimic, if you will, that good, Yokiko, that's really good. Now, Julia, unless you're pinned, see if you can back up that back leg. Yeah, so don't get trapped by the wall. Back it up. Those of you who can be in the Virasana foot, that's even better. Lana, that's good. Now, skin of the outer right knee, if the right leg's in front, is moving to the hip. Get those indents at the hips, and now take the arms out. Peggy, watch the chest is coming a smidge forward. Yeah, just that happens. And then, because we tend to, because if the chest comes forward, you're bypassing that groin. Go up, take the arms up. Why not? That's it. Those of you can back up the back leg even more. Gail, that's fine to do. Yeah, back it up. That's it, Val, back it up. But the knee is down, the back knee is down, just backing up the leg, meaning the distance between your right heel, if the right leg's in front, and the left heel is bigger, bigger, bigger. That's why we did that Supta 1 iteration, change sides when you're ready. So all these you can see have their, we go back to something we've done in the sequence. That's it, Tristan. So left leg forward, unless you did the right side, back up the back leg. Don't get caught by the back wall. Although it's not a bad thing to have the wall for the toes or even the heel. That's it. Now, Lubna, turn the back thigh from the inside out to bring forth that groin. That's it. In the same way we did Virabhadrasana 1. That's it. So you see, it's just, it's the same thing over and over again, only it looks different. That's it. And then when you're ready, arms out in the same way we did Virabhadrasana 1. And then the arms up will help you keep the trunk upright. That's why we're doing it. Gail, you can actually, Gail, at this point, go to Supta 2 for decentralization. Or even, just because we're concluding. We won't conclude with Hanumanasana, of course, but we will do something after. All right, now I'm using a bolster for Hanumanasana. You might need more, you might need less. All right. So I'm starting in this mat, right? And I'm making sure that my right buttock is supported when I outstretch my right leg. This is the side that's the front leg is really not an issue for most people. It's the back leg tends to be bent and the back groin wants to rotate back. So I'm using my hands in the same way. So I'm in the split, the seated split. Make sure that whatever leg's in front, and again, I would choose the more intelligent side to do first. Make sure your front leg buttock bone is supported by the bolster. I like the bolster. I've seen it done with the block. You can even do it on a chair. Gail, Supta 2. Lubna, that you'll see if that's too high. Cylindrical, Lana, Lubna, you'll see if that's too high. Okay, now go. Back up the back leg, bring forth the back leg, make your chest perpendicular. No chest left behind. That's it. Now, if you want, good, Mary Beth. Yeah, it's interesting, Mary Beth, the block can be, it's nice to do it with a block. There's no question about it, especially if there's any kind of hamstring tendinopathy. They're both good ways to do it. Extend the arms. And of course, at some point you're on the floor and reach up. These look good. And of course, enjoy how we got here. Good. Now change sides. For some of you, I expect to see a little bit of a difference because you picked the more easeful side. That's good. Val, now turn the back leg inside out. Beautiful. Back up the back leg, Lubna. Yeah, when you get situated there, back up, back it up. Use your hands to bring that back. The groin of the back leg, good, around. That's it, turn the skin. Could be a little high, Lana. I don't know. I don't think, if you had that cylindrical, it feels to me like it could go down. Take the arms out and lift up. Remember, the arms up, don't think if it makes it harder, it actually makes it easier to lift the chest. Okay. Be on the back. Remember that Virasana foot. that we did from the very, very beginning. We're in the Virasana foot. Okay, good, Tristan. All right, now let's do Chatuspadasana. We're doing 30 times. The reason I'm doing 30 quantity wise is because this is what this guy Peter Donahoe teaches. So take the blanket, put it between your inner upper thighs. Gail, you can do. All right. Instead of a block, just wedge it between your inner thighs so that the thighs don't splay out. And then we're lifting up. Okay, and we're doing 30. 30. Not so bad. We're not holding it. We're just doing more. This is very good after Hanumanasana, clearly. 30 Chatuspadasans. Remember, where the buttock bone and the hamstring meet, if you want to put your index finger there, you can do what I like to do. Actually, Jarvis taught this the other day. Lifted the pelvis up, found that connection between buttock bone and hamstring, and then maintain as you lift higher. So you're going halfway, get the connection, and then all the way up. Because if you go halfway, you don't get the chest lifted. Those of you want to, yeah, that's it, Lumna. You can press the elbows down. Go up, straight up and down and up and down. Good, Val. This is for your glutes, your hamstrings. It's a really utilitarian pose, like Supta Padangusthasana. Really helpful to keep your hamstrings strong. We focus a lot, I know, on yoga on the length of the hamstrings, but it's very important to balance it off with strength. And we also did upper, as it is upper body strength. Okay, so you're on your own, you're doing 30, you're counting. Now, those of you you can hold it at the top for a count of 10. Good, Luna. Can also do with feet on a chair. Well done. Okay, and then do Dvipada Pavanuttasana, knees into chest. Now you can do any Shavasana of your pick, but for this particular sequence, because it actually was good because we spent, we did do Chatuspadasana, but we also did a lot of lengthening of the hamstrings. So if you find that to relax the hamstrings now, putting the lower legs on a seat of a chair could feel really good, and the bolster to get the traction. So, but if you feel like you want to go prone or on your back with the bolster underneath the knees, then be my guest. Okay. That's it. And just, settle in, see that you're comfortable, the conditions, set the right conditions for you to be able to relax. If you need to use the bathroom, that's fine. Take the arms out to the side and just settle in. Use this first minute of Shavasana as a transition from the, the strong practice to now feeling the earth below. Yes, bolster can be on shins or at the root of the thigh. The root of the thigh is nice because then you can pronate your palms and get the traction in the lower back. And again, inhabiting this body, your body, the sensations of your body in the here. in the now. Feeling the isness of now. Can you accept life as it presents itself, as it unfolds? Instead of grasping or resisting, can you lean in? Can you both lean in and let go? What does it feel like to loosen the grip of control? You know, if you want to transition to a different Shavasana, or for that matter, to an upright seated posture, that's fine. Or just stay where you are, inhabiting this body, your body, in the here, in the here, in the now, in the now. So in a moment, I will stop the recording and we can continue to talk about some of the issues that you have.